Hey, I'm Jon Thelen. Today on Fish Ed. It's midsummer, and this is one of my favorite times of the year because what happens when you get to this time of the year is the fish start changing their feeding preferences a little bit and they get into night crawlers, and that means I can get a lot more aggressive. I can move faster. I can fish a lot of different baits. Stay right where you're at. Fish Ed's coming up. There's one. He's got it still, yep. Right on the turn, he must have been following it. See that? He's got it. Got him. I was just turning the boat to head back up and go back around, and this fish, this just goes to show you what they'll do. This fish must have been following it because when I turned, I swung this way, so the inside slows way down and the bait just sat there. And that just goes to show you how often a walleye will follow a bait, not knowing for sure if he wants to grab it or not. But then when you do something erratic, like what I did there with that turn, all of a sudden it makes him snap. And that right there, what a great way to start a day. That is a big, thick, aggressive fish. I mean, he just nailed it when I turned the boat. And this is what we're chasing today. We're chasing walleyes that are hitting that summertime aggressive mode. They're eating crawlers, they're eating big baits now, and they're chasing because the water's warm. And there's a whole bunch of things that go into how we're gonna catch fish today, and we're gonna talk about it. But one of the biggest things is, when does that changeover happen to crawlers from your leeches and your minnows? And right now, I'll tell you, it's happening, and we're gonna tell you exactly how to figure that out on your own body of water as we go today. It's a great eye to start. I'm gonna throw this guy back in. We're gonna get us another one. There he is right there. Yep, got him. I just snuck the boat up a little bit here. I came just a little shallower up on top of this structure. Oh yeah. Not a giant, but good eater size eye. Look at that. It's funny how there is such a variety of fish. I mean, you get this 14-incher mixed in with really good ones, and there's just piles of fish here that are just getting turned on. And it's funny because I'll tell you this, I'm seeing so many fish on my graph, and they're just stacked up here. I mean, they're just piled in here, and they're all here for one reason. They're just looking to eat. But I want to show you what I'm using here today while we got this in, because there's a lot of different ways to deliver a night crawler. You know, you could put it under a bobber, you could put it on a spinner, you could put part of a night crawler on a crankbait and run it around, you could put it on a Lindy rig. But what I'm choosing to do today is I'm running it on a Lil'Guy. And this Lindy Lil'Guy is so neat because it's a cross between a crankbait and a rig. I mean, and a spinner type rig, whatever it may be. This little body runs like this in the water, and it's really, really subtle. Now, I'm using the smallest size today because I don't think we're to that time of the year yet where I really want to be into the bigger one, but it comes in 3 different sizes, okay? This one here's the 1-inch, then there's an 1.5 inches, and then there's a 2-inch. So no matter what the situation, no matter how big the bait fish is in the system you fish, there's a size that's going to match it. Then you just run a crawler on it, and all I'm doing is threading that crawler on this 2-hook harness, and you can see you got that big gap in there to make sure that you get good hookups. Now, if you want to fish this with a leech or a minnow, you just simply clip that hook off and you go down to just 1 hook. It's one of the neatest, most versatile baits I've seen in a long time. And if you look today, I mean, I'm fishing pretty clean water, but these fish, they're still attacking it even with that short snell. And it's not really short. I mean, it's a few feet long, but it just goes to show you how aggressive these fish get when they see something like this coming through the water, running along with a little bit of meat behind it, because they're attacking it every time I go through this pile of them. There's one. Look at that. Self hooked up for me. Man, these fish, they are just tuned up today. Part of what's happened, you look around, oh boy, I'm turning the boat there and that fish kind of, oh yeah, come here, buddy. Good eater size fish. Let's make sure we get him in there. Look at that. One of the things that's happened here today is all of a sudden, we're finally warming up. I mean, the water temps today are up into the high 60s. And this has been one of those years where, you know what, water temps have really struggled to get up. And finally, we're hitting a point where it's warming up, and a couple things are happening. One, just last week we had our first bug hatch. A lot of times that is a key to knowing that you're getting close enough now that you're going to get into crawlers as soon as you start seeing those bug hatches. So when you walk out of the cabin in the morning or you know, wherever you're up north at or wherever you're gone fishing, and you come out and all of a sudden you see those bugs everywhere, that's usually a really good sign that it's a good day to pick up some crawlers on your way to the lake. The other thing is when we start seeing those high 60s. But here's one of the biggest keys to that. Not just the high 60s, but also some flat seas. It makes a huge, huge difference in warming the water up. And what's happening today is that water is really warming up. We've got the flat seas, we got high skies. Things are all in order now. We've had that bug hatch happen, and all of a sudden they're hitting on crawlers. And part of the reason for that is because they're just more aggressive, and that crawler's a lot bigger bait than those leeches we were using earlier in the year. But now these fish are turning on, they're getting aggressive, and they're on the chase. Oh, there's one right there. Look at that. Man, I just turned away for a second and that guy smashed it. One of the things that I think is really cool about these little guys is you can fish them right in a rod holder. So you can bring anybody out fishing and do this. And one of the things I'll tell you though is let the fish chew on it. Let them eat it a little bit. You don't want to grab that rod too quick, because sometimes you'll pull it right out of their mouth. Look at that eye. What a great way to wrap up a day. Man, that's an awesome fish. And this, it's been an awesome day on the water. Here's what's really cool. I haven't heard about a crawler bite yet. I haven't heard people talking about pulling spinners yet this year. I haven't heard anybody really excited about that type of bite yet because the water temps are still cool. But here's the thing. If you go out and you get on this right away when it's time to go, you can get these fish that are actually ready to get real aggressive. And a lot of times, these are the fish that'll turn their nose up to a Lindy rig. Don't be afraid of pulling some crawlers a little bit earlier than you think. You know, watch for that first bug hatch. Keep an eye on that graph and your temperature. And as soon as you start seeing those mid 60s and it starts creeping up a little bit, don't be afraid to throw the crawlers down, because I'll tell you what, fish like this are just waiting to eat them. They love them. Let's get this guy back. What a great day.